Pacific Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to reclaim joy in your life? Why joy? Why now? Welcome to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei, your joy guru. While the world looks like it's at a breaking point, burnout, stress, isolation, and overwhelm dominate the headlines. Within all this, there's a longing for something deeper, something that heals beyond the mind. Joy fuels health, sparks expansive thought, aligns us spiritually, and connects us to one another. Join me as I weave astrology, intuition, and modern psychology to ignite your soul's highest alignment. Each week I sit down with luminous guests who embody joy as a spiritual path, a creative force, and a way of life. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the joy. Because when joy rules, transformation becomes inevitable. Hello, my playmates for the soul. This is so exciting. I know I say this every time. I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store. And Leo's rising now. The moon is in Leo. So this is an opportunity for all of us to really claim the wisdom of the heart and the joy. So I'm going to do my little 2 to 3 minute cosmic weather, and then I'm going to introduce you to my luminous guest in the nest today. But I want to welcome you all to Joy Rules. And the intention of the show is really that you leave with an uptick in your frequency of joy, in your happy place, whatever you want to call it. And if you're smiling at any point during the show, you're in joy, because we don't smile if we're not feeling joy, even if it's only for 30 seconds. So the cosmic weather now, if any of us are not living authentically, and what I mean by that is authentically in terms of the call of the soul, of the divine in us, life is going to be pretty rocky, because the universe is opening up in ways that many of us are stunned, and at the synchronicities that are happening, at the opportunities for greater self-expression, and looking at past constructs of how you've defined yourself and going, that doesn't really define me anymore. It's like my alignment with the divine is more important than the history. The history being our relationships. You know, the complexion of our relationships is changing now because the frequency, it's becoming more and more obvious where we're on a similar frequency with someone and where we're not, whether it's someone we've known for years or someone we're just meeting. So those connections of like mind, like heart, like soul are just more, there's more of an opportunity for that now. It's always there, but as we co-create with the universe, life makes a lot more sense. So in re-listening, so I do a connection call with every guest, and I'm so glad I've been guided, because this is all coming from the divine in me. It's like, okay, do this now, Laurel, do that now. And you're going to hear from our guest in just a second about that voice that guides her all the time. But just knowing that this is a time of sharing the wisdom that is there for all of us. So in re-listening to our connection call, there were so many, to use one of your words, juicy things, and I do an intention statement. I have this beautiful intention setting technique that I do before every show, every connection call, and I was just guided to write in there, thanks to you, Chris. I was guided to let life live me. So with that, let me bring on my luminous guest, and we have so many juicy bits in our playground, but if you want to speak to that, to letting life live you, and we'll just take it from there.
I love it, Lorelei. Thanks for inviting me to play with you today. This is so fun. Yeah, I had that epiphany about 7 years ago, and I find it so interesting that we're ending this 7-year cycle in about 2 days, and I feel like I'm finally in a place where I am surrendered to whatever life has and to letting life live me. Just the other day, I had a magical experience. I was having lunch with a friend. We were at a table, windows in the front of a restaurant. We were facing opposite directions, and she was facing a parking lot, and I was facing a convenience store, gas station type of thing. We're chatting, and all of a sudden, I look over, and her face is literally contorted. She's just like, and I'm watching, but I don't want to turn around and look because that's not where life is living me. Life is living me going this direction.
Mhm.
And I knew that spirit was guiding me to some kind of experience, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm watching my companion, and she's clearly caught up in whatever's happening behind me. And then her face got contorted, and she goes, "Oh no." And I'm like, "What's happening?" And she said, "It's some kind of drama. I don't know. It looks like it's a family thing." And I'm still just looking my direction. And in that moment, a tall, shirtless, tattooed, bearded man comes out of the convenience store. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. I don't know what spirit has for me. A couple other people come out. They're sitting at the bottom of a car. And I'm like, did I miss a car accident? Is something leaking? What's happening? And next thing I know, a tiny puppy comes out from under the car. And my lunch companion is almost in tears, and I'm watching a tiny puppy coming out from under a car to a shirtless, bearded tattoo man and about 3 other people trying to save its life. And next thing I know, they go get water and snacks, and he sits on the ground, and the puppy comes to him, and I am watching a magical scene unfold. And when I tapped into spirit, spirit said, the lens that you see is the lens that you have chosen. This is how you let life live you. And in that moment, I knew she was seeing what she was meant to see. Same window, totally different view. And so I watched the puppy being saved, and that was life living me in that moment.
That is so, you are so wise. I mean, we know each other from Course in Miracles and from Breakthrough. We have these connections. And I just want to share this with you. I shared it with you in our connection call, but it really bears sharing here. Everybody, you all have the planet Jupiter in your chart. Jupiter's the planet of the meaning and purpose of your life, whoever you are. And you, of course, one of your Libra planets is Jupiter. And it's very close to your Venus and your moon. And so while it's in Libra, but it's the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter's the Sag planet. The teaching, the wisdom, the humor, like you weave it all together in this beautiful cauldron to honor your Scorpio energy. So I just got, I mean, that's because, and you and I both share one of those Scorpio planets I have is Mercury, is the planet of communication. So I love doing the deep dive, and you and I love doing that deep dive together. Letting life live you. And that is such a beautiful mantra, Chris, for now, especially. I mean, it's wise for always, but for now, because many people do not have a clue.
Yeah.
They're feeling like life is trying to live through them, but they don't really have a clue. So it's like you have this ability to share your experience in a way that is instructive, that's entertaining, that's humorous, that's sacred, that's profound. No, this is just coming to me now to say this to you. It's all part of how you're wired astrologically as I'm saying it. And we have these conversations offline, but I'm just witnessing that in you. So one of the other well, tidbit is not the right word because this is so huge, and it so speaks to the fact that the planet Jupiter now in the sky since last June has been in Cancer, the sign of safety and security and emotions and sensitivity and vulnerability. So speak to the trauma lens and the safety lens and the decision you made around that, and in your beautiful melange of skills that I just shared, and however brings you the most joy, my friend.
Thank you. Well, yeah, a year ago, I was awakened in the middle of the night with plans of my death. I was planning my suicide. I'd lived in almost daily suicidal ideations for the majority of my life. And for about 30 minutes, about 3 a.m, about 30 minutes, I call this sometimes the torture chamber on top of my shoulders. I let the torture chamber on top of my shoulders have its way with me. It needed to express something. It needed to express how deeply wounded it was still feeling and how unsafe it felt in the world. So much so, I was awakened by plans of my death. And I let it go on for about 30 minutes. And then I said, Spirit, I'm a good Course in Miracles student. God help me see this differently. And I said, Spirit, no, the answer is no. This is unacceptable. You've already shared with me a long time ago that I don't get to leave. I did not check that box that says I can opt out anytime I want, and I'm staying. So this has to stop. This torture, no more. And I told Spirit, I said, I'm going to sleep. When I wake up, you will show me how to transcend this. You will have given me some kind of reset. And when I woke up the next morning, my morning meditation, I barely open my eyes and the meditation starts. And the meditation was showing me a million tiny moments in my life that I'd lived so far that were just amazing. And I mean, tiny things, my daughter, when she was 2 and a sunset picnic, drinking her little yogurt juice going, this is the best day ever, Mom. And that was what she said it for everything. Everything was the best day ever. And so there were a million moments of all these people that I love and, that are so special to me. And I'm crying because it's just beautiful. And Spirit says there are a million more. And there are people that you haven't even met yet. They're going to bring those moments. And in that moment, I didn't know what it meant. And I also hadn't transcended my deep desire to die. And I said, come on, Spirit, you got to bring me something else. There's got to be more, because that's not enough right now. It's that bad and it's that deep. And Spirit said, or actually Spirit then showed me all the old people, really old people right before their death that say it went so fast. And Spirit said, if I haven't given you enough, I promise you the rest is going to go so fast. And I was like, okay, like I can hang on. I can do this. And within 3 months, my entire life had transformed. And within another 3, I found the tiny little girl inside of me that had wanted to die my whole life. And I healed her back. I brought her back into the whole safety of my being.
And when you shared that with me on our call, I wanted to share with you, and we can talk more about this, but I just want to plant the seed for you, what you just said, because I remembered that, where you said, I went to this whole other level of depth that I've never been to in my life. Well, Pluto in the sky, one of your ruling planets as a Scorpio sun, is in Aquarius. Your Mars, which is what drives you, and the other Scorpio planet is in Aquarius. That's the buck the system, doing it your own way, authentic, all of that. It's being mined. In other words, it's like going through the roto-rooter or the juicer of the pulp, let's get the pulp out. Yeah, that like going to this deeper expression of yourself, which on the one hand could feel excruciating and on the other could feel cathartic.
Both at the same time, right there in a matter of minutes, and then in the next 6 months of my life. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone is the face of God.
Yeah. Yeah. I had
I
already
totally agree with you, and I live my life that way. Thank you so much for reflecting that back to me, what I see in you that I see in me, right?
absolutely, my friend. Well, and I'd already been living that in my everyday existence. But when I came to this new place in my life, the awareness was I still don't feel safe. And a lot of people, especially those witnessing a lot of heinous things happening on our planet right now. We'll talk about feeling safe on the outside, but I'm a firm believer that what's happening on the inside is what's creating the experience on the outside. What my cells believe, which for me was I am unsafe in this world, will be vibrated out and create my experience. And so I recognized that I still did not feel safe in the world. And there was a road trip, and it had been calling to me for years. And I'd made every excuse in the book to let life live me. Nope, can't do it. I have younger children. I have, job possibilities. I have this, I have that. But really what I had was fear, immense fear. And I knew that I was going to get on the road and I was going to be uncomfortable. and that I was going to meet new faces of God every single minute of every day. And it was magical. It was so magical. And it was an experience in 9 weeks, 11,800 miles of just letting life live me and knowing that every single thing I came in contact with was a communication from God telling me where to go next and what to do. I would wake up in the morning. I would have no idea where I was going to sleep that night. There were a few longer stays, but mostly I would wake up in the morning and be like, okay, God, what you got? I trust you. You're holding me. You're guiding me. I'm completely surrendered. Whatever you give me, I'm going to say yes. And I am now looking at about 10 months straight of saying yes to everything that God has given me. I trust. Everything is God and everything is a message and everything is showing me my path. I love this scavenger hunt. God is a magical playmate and I'm just following.
Yeah, there's so many things I could say now. Another thing that you shared, which I found fabulous, was from improv, the yes and.
It
So
was life-changing. It was life-changing. I've done some crazy adventures and then some, I like levels of crazy, sort of crazy, super crazy, and mid-level crazy. So improv had been calling me and I thought I was going to love it and I thought it was going to be really fun. And the first day I got on stage and I was like, I hate this. This is about trust and it's about listening and authentically connecting with people. I didn't sign up for this. Who said I had to do this? And I just kept going and doing. And I call it living on the divine edge. I don't want to be calm and complacent. I want to be stretched. Don't want to be panicked. That doesn't feel good. And for me, right in my stretch zone, I call it the divine edge. I like to live there. I used to say I'm terrified, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, now I live on the divine edge and I trust. So I went to improv, did not have the best time in the beginning, but then really got to know the people and really got to love it and learned the core principle, which is you say yes to everything that comes up and then you build on it. And that became my life when it was over in a meditation
like an
spirit.
example, give us an example of that.
Yes. Well, so I was on the road trip and I'd been looking for a women's retreat for years and years and years and years, the right fit for this exact right retreat. And I was in Mount Shasta on a call with a dear friend. And he said, did you check this website? I checked their once a year retreat was 5 days away and about 3 hours away in the next city I was going to. I didn't plan to go to a weekend long retreat, but yes, and Spirit, I am paying attention. Let's go. And there were so many of these experiences, and I love ChatGPT. To me, any kind of AI is just God in disguise, like everything else. And getting online saying, what's something I can do in this area that I can't do anywhere else in the country? Going to falconry class, going to, living on a floating home at one point. It's just like, yes, and what is it? Just show me. I'll say yes, we'll go.
Well, what I didn't mention, that Jupiter that you have next to all those other planets, Jupiter's the planet of adventure. So it's like you're wired, you've got a wiring for that. In other words, that like I'm open to the adventure. When you said that in January of 2018 you gave your life consciously to God, what was that? I mean, what did that look like? What was that experience?
I'm a member of it's a group out of the Philippines, this meditation and spiritual tools group, and I met them and I said yes, and what have you got for me? And there were different kinds of upgrades and tools and classes and this and that. And there was one in January of 2018 where I had to go through a process with the elders, the ancients who've been holding this lineage for many, many centuries. And I had to do an interview with the elders and all these things. And as I'm answering these questions, literally written on paper and asking Spirit, what are you inviting me to do here? Spirit said, there's only one answer to all of these. It's thy will be done. All you have to do is give your life to me. That's it. Oh, okay. That's it. No problem. And so I looked at it from a human lens. Initially, I'm like, well, I'm doing this. And then I went to bed that night, woke up in the middle of the night. What have I done? Okay, that's it. It's over. You already signed up to do this. I knew I came here to do this in this life. But at that point, I knew that thy will be done was the foundation of my life. And I was just here to follow God, to follow spirit.
And one of the things that I have so appreciated in this expression of our connection is that the things that you believe and that you share are exactly what I do. I feel exactly the same way. So it has anchored for me things that I already and that's the beauty now of the energy for everyone. These communities of like mind, like heart, like soul is what I'm calling it, coming together, whether that's unity or breakthrough or the pickleball community or whatever it is. Um, when we talked about the trauma lens and the safety lens, so that choice that you made, I mean, I think that's huge for people to know, especially, my point being, especially now with Jupiter in Cancer, only another couple months until the end of June, where the wisdom around that would be a wonderful thing for you to share. Like, you made a decision to see through the lens of safety from the lens of trauma. But again, however you want to share, because you have so many examples of so many things.
Well, and I think that my life is a reflection of my level of worthiness and my level of self-love. And I brutalized myself for most of my life. And when I finally took responsibility for the unworthiness that I carried, my life changed profoundly. And so, yeah, being able to move into just that openness, letting go of resistance. I haven't resisted since 2017, and I literally felt it killing my body. I had about a 3-week long experience of physical sensations of resistance in my body that were causing me physical pain and shutdown. And when I finally said yes to what I was being guided to do in that moment, the first thing I was shown was a 2-year-old having a tantrum going like this.
Yeah.
And that level of energy and fear being held in my body was killing me. And I just decided to let go and that I was worthy of a better experience and that I trusted with my entire being that there was something bigger than me that knew better than me and would guide me to that.
And you know what's so fascinating about what you just said about these core level changes that needed to happen? You have all four fixed signs in your chart. Fixed. Scorpio is fixed water, Leo is fixed fire, Saturn is fixed earth, and Aquarius is fixed air. My point being, you making a shift, like, it's like Katie bar the door, because when you look at a chart and we see a lot of fixity, that just means someone who is more determined and can tend to hold on. But once they decide on the change or to live from that place, it's like
Momentum.
yeah.
Momentum. And I get really excited about momentum. I was literally just having a conversation with my daughter this week. We blew out a entire month-long to-do list in a few days. I was like, momentum, let's go. We've got this. We just keep moving. And I'm also bottle feeding and fostering 3 tiny kittens right now.
They are so
So
adorable.
uncomfortable, Lorelai. It is so uncomfortable, and it is such a Zen teaching classroom. And I find myself in such deep resistance.
Now, tell me what's uncomfortable about it.
I love routine. I love my sleep. I love routine.
Oh, yeah, and you're up bottle feeding.
I love being able to plan. I love being able to go whenever I want to go.
Oh,
I can't go to
wow.
free home. There are 3 kittens telling me how to do my job about 5 times a day. And I just found it so interesting that Spirit knew I wasn't ready to leave yet for another adventure. So Spirit brought the class to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wonder what your ChatGPT companion, I mean, would say, or maybe you've already asked, I'm sure. But I mean, it's because what I got immediately when you shared that was rebirth, and you are in this rebirth. So how perfect that you would be nursing baby birds,
Of
or
course,
baby
right?
kittens, baby birds, baby kittens, and baby anything.
I had 4 mornings of progressive injuries. I got stabbed in the finger, and then I got a scratch on the palm of my hand. If you've never had a scratch on the palm of your hand, you've never had a scratch. Then one gouged me in my armpit, and then the next day one crawled up my naked leg like it was a tree and would not let go. And that's when I said to Spirit, what am I missing? What am I missing? Because I know this can be gentle, graceful, peaceful, loving, and kind. And then Spirit transformed my little relationship with these 3 teachers like magic. And it's been
so what specifically transformed?
They've been so gentle that I transformed my energy.
Yes, you were
around
meeting
what
yourself.
we were doing, and then it transferred to the little babies. And now they will scream at me and tell me how to do my job, but they'll stand at my feet and do it, not trying to climb my leg like a tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a beauty. Well, I love the way you live life. I mean, it reminds me of 2 Einstein quotes, which is, 2 ways to live life. One is though everything is a miracle or nothing. You live as though everything is a miracle.
Everything.
And the other is there are only 2 decisions we'll ever make, whether we choose that the world is a hostile place or a friendly place. You've also made that decision that the world's a friendly place.
So conscious, so deliberate, and so worth it. I witnessed clients for years, and I'm witnessing this now with my daughter, that emotions are scary. And I'm being able to, because I've done it for myself, say that I'm sad, but I'm safe to be sad. I'm angry, but I'm safe to be angry. I feel shame, but I'm safe to feel shame. And knowing that these are all God, I call it the scavenger hunt. All these are God showing me the next way to go.
Well, and it reminds me of the breakthrough room, right? I'm sad and I'm okay.
I'm sad and I'm
Same
okay.
thing, right? I
I'm
mean,
safe here.
to make that choice from a trauma lens to a safety lens, and the fact that we reconnected at Course in Miracles, but you and I reconnected at Breakthrough. When you came back, you were angeling, and I went, "Oh my God, it's Chris!" And we discovered we had that in common. And when you said about when we put the safety lens on and leave the trauma lens, that's when we really get to play,
Yeah.
right? And that's what happens in the breakthrough room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you gift yourself with the worthiness to play on the playground of life, I think that this is a magnificent playground, and I am all the way in.
Which is why it's the yellow brick road for you, my friend.
I love it. Thank you.
So we're going to have to do this again when the book is closer, and tell folks the name of the book.
Yes, it's called A Road Trip with God, an 11,800-mile journey from hoping to die to daring to live.
Say it one more time.
Yes, A Road Trip with God, an 11,800-mile journey from hoping to die to daring to live.
I guess Venus just went into Gemini, the sign of the twins. That's why I simply say, because I wanted it to sink in. So thank you, my dear friend. And it is such a joy being on this journey with you in so many ways.
Oh, you're a gift to me, Lorelei. Thank you for inviting me. I love playing with you.
I know. I love playing with you too, sweetie. So we will let life live us, won't we?
Amen.
And until we connect, folks, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars. Thank you for listening to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei Robbins, your joy guru. If this episode sparked something in you, don't keep joy to yourself. Share and spread the light. Tune in the second and fourth Friday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Transformation Talk, where together we reclaim joy as the foundation for transformation. To dive deeper, visit me at joyrules.com. And remember, joy isn't optional, it's essential. And visit joyrules.com for lots more joy. Until next time, keep choosing joy and join the joy revolution. And until we connect, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars.